Well, I think climate-induced migration is a problem or a challenge that it hasn't been addressed that much in the international level. So in no organizations or in only a few, it's a topic, mainly on large NGOs. You will find the topic as something that they are treating. But if you look at the national level and also the international climate negotiations, there is still something that we have to push forward to bring it to this context. We have had only one small impact, and this was in the Cancun Agreement, in which there was a small article saying the government should start thinking about the impact of climate into migration and into the humans. But since then, nothing else. And last year in Doha, they started again putting it into the negotiations, and hopefully this year in Warsaw we will have something else. But still, it has to trickle down to the national governments. I think that the problem is that if governments recognize climate-induced migration as a fact, then this will mean that the governments in the north will have to support the populations moving around the world due to climate-induced migration, because we will have, in the north, we will have to compensate the south countries for the emission of CO2. So, and this will, of course, cause a lot of needs for new money for tackling this problem and the like. By now, we only have 2 countries in the world that are supporting climate-induced migrants, and these are countries of the north, very wealthy countries like Sweden and Finland. The others, they are not doing so. So I think it has to do with the fact that they will have to have a big budget for supporting climate-induced migrants. So, for example, if we believe the last words of Cristina Figueras, who is the Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change, she said that you could really back up the movements in all the North African countries as climate-induced revolutions. So the first was that there were long protracted droughts, causing that people had less and less to eat. People just wanting to get from their government support for the falling crops, and then starting a revolution for this question. So you could say that in these cases, climate was already something that was supporting or was driving revolutions and conflicts and problematics. Another could be the floods in Pakistan in 2008, 2009, in which many people really had to move from their areas of origin because the villages just disappeared, and in the areas in which you had a village before, suddenly there was a lake. So this would be examples of climate-induced migration or climate-induced displacements. Well, because actually until now these communities have been working separately. So you have the climate modeling community, the demographic community, the urbanization community, the people that deal with rural sociology, and it's the time to bring them all together to get the results and insights from the different community to tackle a problem together. This is the reason why.